Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell to get notified on my next upload. Today we are going into a arson case that ripped through a hotel in Aberystwyth. So let's get started. Killer arsonist hid fire extinguisher before torching fully booked hotel in the middle of the night. Damon Harris killed one man and left another serious injured after setting fire to the Tal Belgrave house in Aberystwyth. The arsonist killed a fire safety officer when he set a hotel ablaze along with popular seafront resort. Damon Harris, 31, had been out drinking before entering the Belgrave house in the early hours of the morning during the height of tourist season. The court heard all 16 guests at the sold-out boutique house in Aberystwyth were asleep when thick smoke began to fill the building after Harris started a fire in the basement. Men, women and children were forced to climb to the hotel roof, for some even to jump from the balconies to escape the flames in the early hours on July 25th last year. Richard Sinnott fell from the hotel's steel slate roof, suffering a number of injuries after he helped his partner and two sons, aged 5 and 4, out of the window. Julius Tanadis, 48, who was staying in the hotel while working as a fire safety control contractor at Aberystwyth University, was only guest who failed to escape and remains to be found underneath the collapsed building for nearly 2 months later. Oh my goodness, that's so sad. Damon Harris is caught on CCTV. On Tuesday at Swansea Crown Court, Harris used a cigarette lighter to set a fire in the cupboard full of towels and sheets after he sneaked into the hotel around the 2 a.m. after drinking in a pub and nightclub. Prosecutor Michael Jones said it was a hotel on the seafront during summertime at the height of the tourist season. He must have known that there was going to be a large number of guests at the hotel at this time and were all asleep. He carried out clear, deliberate, obvious, dangerous act. It was likely to result in serious injury or death, and that is indeed what occurred. Fire ripped through the Belgrave Hotel in Aberystwyth on July 25th, 2018. The aftermath of the fire that ripped through. Wow, that is just horrific. Look at that, there's nothing left. Absolutely nothing left. Harris was caught on CCTV removing a fire extinguisher from the hall in the reception area. Are you freaking kidding me? And hiding it in the upper level before returning downstairs to set the fire of net curtains. Oh my God. The fire on the curtains the flames on the curtains self-extinguished, but Harris entered the hotel basement and set fire to the cupboard containing linen before making his escape. The court heard of the fire had spread upwards. Thick smoke woke up a number of the guests, including Mr. Sinnott, 42, who was on the family holiday with partner Caroline and their 2 young boys. Holy shit. The family escaped to the roof after Miss Latham made a 999 call to the fire service, which was played in court. On it, Miss Latham is heard saying, 2 children, 4 and 5, and we tried to get downstairs, but we can't. There's thick smoke. Miss Latham was heard telling her sons, hold hands, boys, stay together, after they were lifted by their father to the roof. Then instructed them to recite the 5 times table to distract them as their father slipped and fell. Oh my God, and these boys witnessed that. Oh my life. Mr. Simmert landed on a handrail, oh my God, which broke his fall to 12 to 14 feet above ground level. He survived with a fracture of his vertebrae and collarbone, his sternum, several broken ribs, and suffered a broken right arm, which has left him without sensation in some fingers. Dude, like, at least you're still there to watch your kids grow up. Like, I know that's not really much of a thing, but jeez. Miss Latham and her 2 children were helped down from the roof by firefighters who used a cherry picker. Mr. Tanatis, the only person who died in the fire, was soon poking his head from his room window on the 2nd floor by his 3 colleagues after they managed to escape their own rooms into the street. Look at that. That's literally, yeah, that's just done. I'm sure they would have to completely start again. Fellow contractors, Sadrunam said to wake up Mr. Tuntus, but failed to get him out before he forced to escape the building by sliding down a white support structure from the balcony. He told police that he shouted to Mr. Tanatis in Lithuanian to jump down from the balcony, but he never saw him again after the police moved him away from the scene. Mr. Tanatis was found on September 10th by a forensic archaeologist, but his remains were so badly damaged he could not be identified for 16 weeks later on November 15th. Oh my God. A post-mortem examination could not determine whether he died from smoke inhalation or directly from the fire. Shortly after the fire, Harris was found by police slumped in the street with a t-shirt over his head and was described heavily intoxicated before he walked home. How beautiful that building is in Aberystwyth. That was a gorgeous building. Jesus. Harris later identified using CCTV and was arrested on suspicion of arson, denying to police that he ever entered the hotel before saying he had been threatened by an unknown man to set the hotel on fire or else the family would be harmed. On Monday, Harris from Labadan, Aberystwyth, pleaded guilty to manslaughter, arson and inflicting grievous bodily harm with intent on the day his trial was due to begin. So he waited right to the last minute and then pleaded. What an asshole. He was originally charged with murder of the Mr. Tandis, but his guilty plea to the alternative charge of manslaughter was accepted by the prosecution. Judge Paul Thomas adjourned the hearing until Wednesday. My God, so he waited literally right until the last minute. Like, what kind of dirtbag does that? Aberystwyth hotel fire, accused admitted manslaughter. It wasn't until 7 weeks after the fire ripped through the Belgrave Hotel in Aberystwyth that the remains of Joas Tanatis was recovered. A man who admitted starting the fire in the seaside hotel and causing a blaze which claimed the life of one guest and seriously injuring others Flames ripped through the Thai Belgrave Hotel in Aberystwyth in the early hours of July 25th last year. At the height of the incident, several firefighters' crew were on the scene. Firefighters led 9 adults and 3 children to safety from the property, but 1 guest remained unaccounted for. 7 weeks after the fire, remains of gymnastics were recovered from the gutted hotel in Marine Terrace. On Monday, 31-year-old Damon Anthony Harris of Llywelyn, I don't know what that says, Lambadan Fur, Aberystwyth, pleaded guilty to manslaughter, inflicting grievous bodily harm, GBH, and arson, being reckless as to whether life was endangered when he appeared in the dock at Swansea Crown Court for what should have been his first day of trial. The GBA charge related to a guest at the hotel, Richard Sinnott, who was injured from the fall of the burning building. I think that's a little more than GBH. I think I should be like at ABH, like, shouldn't it actually bodily harm? I don't know. Mike Jones, the prosecution, said pleas were acceptable to the Crown and the reflection of the criminality of this particular evening. Nadine Redford for Harris said her client, who was originally being charged with murder, was in a highly agitated state and needed time to properly prepare a basis of plea. The barrister said he knew he was going to prison. The only question is the length. It should be a long time. How about that? Judge Paul Thomas QC said that he was preparing to allow the defendant until Tuesday. Then hearing was adjourned. Harris was further remanded in custody. If the prosecution and defence cannot agree on a basis of, judge will hear the evidence of the case and decide on the basis of a sentence as proceed known as the Newton hearing. Lithuanian national Mr. Tayatis, I'm so butchering this name and I'm so sorry, had been working as a contract fire safety officer at Aberystwyth University at the time that he was killed in the fire. Following the blaze, Dyfed-Powys Police, Mid and West Fire Services launched a joint investigation establishing its cause. Now, like, he's lucky that only 1 passed. It could have been so much worse. 1 was seriously injured from the fall. Like, this bloke could have had so many deaths on his hands. And my God, whatever possessed him to walk into that hotel and start that fire. And how, like, crap for this, like, Lithuanian man. You know, he's a fire safety officer and he ends up dying in a fire. Like, my God, this is just so sad. This is really sad. Arsonist has been jailed for 16 years for setting fire to a hotel in Aberystwyth which killed a man. Damon Harris started the fatal fire on the 25th of June last year after spending the evening drinking at a pub. CCTV show him setting fire to a set of curtains before entering the basement to set another fire. His actions led to the death of 48-year-old Juas Hernandez, who was staying at the Belgrave Hotel while he was working at Aberystwyth University. His body was found collapsed remains of the building 2 months after the fire. The court heard how guests had to jump from balconies to escape the flames that engulfed nearby properties. One family was forced to leave through the window and climb onto the hotel's roof. The court heard it was described how guest Richard Sinnott fell from the roof, suffering serious injuries. His partners and sons, aged 5 and 4, had to be rescued from the roof by a crew as smoke engulfed them. This is Damon Harris, was jailed for 16 years. Credit to David Paris Police. Harris, 31, pleaded guilty to manslaughter, arson, inflicting grievous bodily harm with intent. He was originally charged with the murder of Mr. Tanatis, but offered guilty pleas, including of the alternative charge of manslaughter, on the day of his trial. The letter written by Harris was read out in court, and he was not a murderer and would never hurt anyone with his own 2 hands. I beg to differ on that one, dude. He was jailed for 16 years. You started the fire. Inevitably, it was your fault. Yes, it was started with your own 2 hands. Jesus. But I'm glad he was jailed for 16 years. That seems a bit okay, I guess. 16 years. Yeah, probably deserved more, but with our justice system, 16 years is quite adequate. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Give the thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know in the comments whether you think 16 years is adequate, too much, too little. Let me know what you think. I'm not, well, for hours, I think 16 were pretty good when you think about one's previous, who only get like 9 years for killing kids and stuff. So for us, I think that's pretty good. Do I think he deserves more? Absolutely. But let's have a chat about it, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.